This is your Fox 10 News Now update.
Hi everyone, Eric Reynolds with your Fox 10 News Now update. Voters in several cities in our area are heading back to the polls today. They'll be deciding runoff races from the municipal elections back in August. Some of the bigger races include mayoral races in Spanish Fort, Daphne, Pritchard, and Chickasaw. Now, taking a look at the candidates, you've got incumbent Spanish Fort Mayor Mike McMillan facing challenger Rebecca Cornelius. In Daphne, Robin Lejeune and Steve Carey facing off in the mayor's race. The incumbent Dane Haygood did not seek re-election. Then in Pritchard, incumbent Mayor Jimmy Gardner is up against City Councilman Lorenzo Martin. And in Chickasaw, it's Barry Broadhead taking on Bill Vallon. Polls will be open from 7 a.m. until 7 p.m. this evening. Now, we'll have, of course, more on the runoff elections throughout the morning. And once the polls close and the results start coming in, we'll have those for you on air and online. Hurricane Delta has folks along the Gulf Coast nervous this morning, especially those still working to get things back in order after the mess that Sally left behind. The Lake Forest community is one of many still in the middle of that cleanup process. Now, many describe Sally's aftermath as a war zone. Power lines are still mangled, some actually laying in the road. Trees are leaning. Piles of debris pushed to the edge of the streets as well. It's bagged and stacked so high in some places you can barely see the homes that sit behind it. For now, folks are doing what they know to, that's getting gas and checking their generators to make sure that they're working and anxious to see what Delta does. The city of Foley wants to make sure that residents can start getting ready now. Sandbags will be available tomorrow at the City Public Works Department. That's from 6 in the morning until 4 tomorrow afternoon. If you're still trying to apply for FEMA assistance following Hurricane Sally, you're going to have to wait a few days or stick to applying online. Local offices closing ahead of Hurricane Delta. Now, here's a look. The Alabama Emergency Management Agency is located on Fairhope Avenue, closed yesterday, with a reopening now to be determined. The FEMA office in Biola Battery also closed yesterday and will reopen next Monday. FEMA offices in Foley, Robertsdale, and Atmore will all close tomorrow and then open back up next Monday as well.
You can't predict storms or back-to-back storms. It's impossible. All you can do is really prepare for it. Obviously, we've seen it. This has been a very, very busy hurricane and tropical storm season.
You can still register for federal help by calling their helpline, logging on to disasterassistance.gov, or by using their app. Now, all of that information is on our website, fox10tv.com.
I'm meteorologist Michael White here in the Fox 10 Storm Tracker Center with your morning Storm Tracker report. And as we look live at the radar at the time we're doing this, just before 4:30 in the morning, some light rain has moved from offshore to onshore, but overall most spots are dry. But be aware that some light rain is falling and there will be some wet roads as you head out the door. The big story that we're watching is the tropical moisture that's surging in and the air that's getting more humid, courtesy of Hurricane Delta, that will be making its presence felt more than likely by Friday night into the weekend, but to the extent of where still remains an unknown. We'll be watching some of this light rain moving ashore today and tomorrow. We're not going to see an overwhelming rain chance, but some light rain will return. And Hurricane Delta is already a Category 2 hurricane, and it's between Honduras and Cuba, and it's lifting its way northwest into the Gulf waters. The maximum sustained winds are at 100 miles per hour, and it's moving fast. It's tracking northwest at 15. And here's the new track from the Hurricane Center office in Miami. This thing cranks all the way up to a Category 4 by Thursday afternoon, with maximum sustained winds of 130 miles per hour. And then is expected to make landfall Friday night, and it does so near Baton Rouge, Louisiana. The track has shifted slightly to the west. New Orleans would still be just to the east of the center if this holds up, and then the feature would weaken tremendously. Now, the cone is still large, which means landfall could happen near Baton Rouge, or it could happen all the way over toward Pensacola, or it could still happen over toward Lake Charles and on the Texas-Louisiana line like Hurricane Laura did. Now, if this verifies and holds up, we would not not see the same wind threat we did with Sally because the eye wouldn't be going directly over us, but we would be to the east of the center, which would mean heavy bands of rain, possible storm surge, and isolated tornadoes. So Friday night into Saturday would be a busy weather time period, and then by late Saturday night, that thing's just a remnant low. It's already off the board as it tracks north of Tuscaloosa. So that's how quickly this thing will move through. It will move much faster than Sally, but the odds are getting better that the center will stay away from us, which is what we are hopeful for. Weather headlines for today. We're going to be tracking Delta, isolated rain, temperatures going up. The air gets much more humid as we continue to watch this feature. And as we run the clock forward all the way into the early morning hours of Friday, you'll notice Hurricane Delta meanders through the Gulf of Mexico. And then by about Friday at 1 a.m., you can see that thing is still just south of Louisiana. Here's how the next 7 days are going to stack up. High temperatures return to the 80s. Windy conditions Friday, pending what happens regarding Hurricane Delta. And then we see drier weather coming back for the weekend with highs in the low 80s and getting humid. Morning temperatures back in the upper 60s. We'll talk more weather throughout the day right here on Fox 10 News Now.
Stay tuned to Fox 10 News throughout the day for the latest updates. This has been your Fox 10 News Now update.